like to draft and then revise your work?
Yes. I think I actually push for revision in courses because it's just better for you to develop as a writer, to develop your craft. So if you're serious about your craft, you want to revise. You want to be able to do drafts and get feedback from different peer revise.
This business of developing your craft, can you talk about that? I mean, it's kind of an interesting way of describing it, that writing is a craft and that you want to develop it. I mean, I think of when I was a student. Oftentimes I would get a paper assignment and I'm thinking about I want to do the paper assignment. But you're describing not just completing the assignment, but also developing the craft.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean to you?
Like a piece of art. Like I would consider writing a artistic expression. So I look at it from a different approach. It's not just about completing the assignment, because the assignment will get done. But if you get a little more enjoyment out of it, just like an artist would, creating a sculpture or painting a painting, or that's how I approach it. Or writing a paper, writing a piece. That's just my approach.
Can you tell me a little bit about what you think sort of people think of when they think of a writing intensive at York College, and then how that does or doesn't pan out, once you're in the class?
Well, I'm assuming that people think writing intensive, oh, it's gonna, kill me with the load, the course load, and the course work and my other courses that I'm taking. So they may hinder away from taking a writing intensive course until it's absolutely necessary. Whereas when it actually pans out, it turns out for me to be a lot better, because actually you may work on 1 or 2 papers, but you get a chance to change how it comes across to improve what you're saying and how you're saying it. Students benefit from taking writing intensive courses because they develop as writers. They'll learn as they go in the work field that expressing yourself on paper is very key. And you can't do that if you haven't been able to exercise that particular muscle.
So what kinds of things exercise the muscle? I mean, I think about, like, you go to the gym, you lift weights, or this kind of thing. I mean, you don't go to class and lift weights. So what does exercising the writing muscle look like in a writing intensive class?
Well, it's exercised through revision and writing different drafts. And when you write another draft or you revise, you're making a completely new approach to the paper. You have a foundation. You're not revamping that. But what you're doing is fine-tuning it. I like to make my reader feel at home when they're reading my papers, almost familiar, but not to be redundant.
I haven't seen you as a writer or in a class in quite some time, and yet I see you're the same person, but you're actually a different person as well. If you think back to that time, that first semester here, and then you think about where you're at now as a student, how are you different? I mean, how have you sort of grown? Maybe how are you the same?
I was a little more candid then. I want to say wild, untamed. Yeah, that's how I've changed. I'm a little laid back, maybe a bit too much, a bit quiet. So I really do depend on writing to get my my views across to my reader, who most often than not is a professor that I have to convince because I have a different opinion on most things. So I have to have a argumentative essay always prepared in the back of my head.